Hi, welcome to this quick demo on Static Application Security Testing, SAST, software, composition analysis, SCA, and dynamic application security testing, DAST. We will dive deep into these concepts using Snyk in this demonstration. So let me go to this projects tab. Here you can see that I have currently added 3 repositories to Snyk. So what I have done is that I have connected my GitHub account to Snyk and added some vulnerable repositories in my GitHub repo. And on the right side you can see that all the vulnerabilities that were found for this repos. So let me click on the first repo and go to code analysis. We will first discuss what SAST is. Static Application Security Testing, or SAST, is a method of analyzing source code to find security vulnerabilities before an application is deployed. So basically what it means is that you analyze your source code to find if there is any vulnerabilities before you deploy it to a production environment. So if I scroll down you can see all the vulnerabilities that were found for this repo. Let's select one of them. So here you can see this is a cross-site scripting vulnerability and this is the line where the vulnerability exists. So here you can click on this and learn more about this vulnerability. If I click on here right you can also see more about what the vulnerability is. And if I go to this fix analysis it will provide me with some example codes of how to fix this. There is also another way of performing scan. So this is done by connecting your GitHub repositories to Snyk and performing a scan. But you can do the same thing in VS Code also. You just need to have Snyk extension or Snyk package downloaded on your terminal and connect your Snyk account. Let's see both the method. Here you can see that I have cloned one of the repos and opened that on my VS Code. If I click on the Snyk extension here you can see the scan. I have already performed a scan on this repo. These are all the issues that were found. If I click one of them it will take me straight to the line where it found the vulnerability and shows the type and what the vulnerability is. And there is also option to generate an AI fix for this. It will automatically generate a code and update that in the code, which is very useful for developers to fix vulnerabilities. You can also do using another method. I have already downloaded the Snyk tool, so let me run this command. The command is Snyk code test. Let me run this. So what it does is that it will do a scan on all the files to find if there is any vulnerability. It will take some time, just give it a minute, and here you can see the summary of that. So the same thing that was found in the extension, it gives the same thing in the terminal. That's it. This is the SAST demo. Let me go back and click on the projects and let's discuss what SCA is. Software Composition Analysis, or SCA, is a security practice that scans your application dependencies such as open source libraries, frameworks and third-party components to identify if there is any known vulnerabilities that were found, or if you are using any outdated or deprecated packages, or if there is any license compliance issues. For example, if you're trying to use any open source projects in your code, and if it has some license that it follows but in your project you're not following the same license, then it might throw you a license compliance issues. So let me select the second repo and click on this POM XML file. And under this dependency tab, you can see all the dependencies that are used in this repo. Currently it doesn't show any vulnerabilities. Let me filter for the vulnerable ones. Here you can see 5 dependencies that are vulnerable. So the use of this is that, say, that you are using these dependencies in your project. This can be very useful to know if there are any vulnerable packages or dependencies that you are using is in your code, and you can basically update to the latest version so that you can remediate this vulnerabilities. If I switch back to this issue staff and select this fixable option, this option will open an automatic fix with which you can basically do an automated fix using Snyk. Let me show that to you. There is a vulnerability for this dependency, and if I click on show more details you can see all the details about this. And so this vulnerability is basically introduced through this version and fixed through this version. So what I can do is that I'll click on this fix this vulnerability option. It will basically select that vulnerability, and if I click on open a fix PR, what this will do is that it will open a GitHub PR with the updated dependency, and you can basically review it and merge it to your main repository. Let me show you that. If I go to Files Changed, you can see that the updated code. The updated code has added a new dependency version, and you can review this and merge it to your main branch. That's it for the SCA part. Let's go into the DAST. So Snyk has a separate platform for DAST. Let me switch over to that. Now let us look into what is DAST first. Dynamic Application Security Testing, or DAST, is a security testing method that analyzes an application while it's running to identify vulnerabilities. So it's like a type of black box testing where the tester doesn't have access to applications' internal working source code. It is basically like the opposite of SAST, where you don't have any access to source code. You basically run a scan against your application or your running application and find if it's there are any vulnerabilities in that app, in that application. I'm currently in the Targets tab. Here you can see that I have added a domain name. This is domain name that I have added for testing purposes. Here you can see there are vulnerabilities information. Let's click on this. In the Overview tab you can see all the vulnerabilities details and other stuffs. If I go to this Findings tab, you can see all the vulnerabilities that are found in this domain. You could also click on this and get more information. If I click on how to fix this, it will provide me with some information of how to fix this issues. The Evidences tab will provide how Snyk found this vulnerability. So you could actually replicate this also. If you want to add your domain to scan, click on this Add tab and provide your domain name. But be noted that if you're trying to add your domain name, it will ask you to verify so that Snyk knows that you actually own that domain. This is for security purposes so that you don't abuse their platform. That's it. Thank you.
Enhance security, reduce technical debt, and secure your pipeline for the future.